Okay, I'm Rene Castro, and I'm the Hub Manager for Building Healthy Communities Long Beach.
And talk about what the purpose of the meeting today is.
So today is a really important day for us. We're updating our community plan. We turned in our original community plan 3 years ago, so it's time to update it. So we're engaging the whole community today to determine our priorities for the next 3 years.
And so just kind of walk us through the working groups and what's going to come out at the other end.
Sure. So we have 4 working groups. We have a group for youth between the ages of 14 to 24, and they're working on school issues like health and wellness, school discipline. We have a group dedicated to neighborhoods, and they're working on things like more parks, more open space, more streets that allow for bikes and are more walkable. We have a group for air quality, and they're really focused on advocating for cleaner air, particularly from the ports, goods movement, and also the 710 freeway, and advocating to make sure that that industry doesn't negatively impact the health of residents living in those neighborhoods. And then our last work group is schools, and it's really about trying to make sure that all students have the opportunity to achieve, and then also focused on issues like school discipline as well.
Well, I really like the one you said about the kids coming out of the justice system and the foster youth, because it's so confusing and just hard to transition back into something that's so liberal.
Other thoughts from folks of the emerging ones?
Regardless of their ability to pay. So
I'm going to latch on to 2 things that you said, really just to reiterate and clarify. So these services are not coming from the school's budgets, from LBUSD's budget in this case. They're self-sustained in that way. And in addition, the physical space is what's the asset there at the school, right? That it's in the community being served as well. So I want to highlight those 2. And I want to reemphasize, any idea is good here. I just wanted to clarify your question. In this case, we can provide the content to what this area is. So again, I'm inviting you to share any ideas. There's no right or wrong here. We're not deciding today. All we're doing is documenting.
What's interesting about that is that maybe there is an education piece to that of like what are those regulations, right? Because actually in the nation, the Port of Long Beach and Port of Adelaide probably have the strongest regulations. Right? We also have, right? We actually have the strongest problem too, right?
Well, yeah.
And so,
it's
the biggest problem,
it's
but it
very
is
regulated. They do give you a certain, numbers of years, but at the same time, our port is extremely sort of aggressive when it comes to cleaning up our operations. That we introduce programs that might get adopted internationally, like the Clean Trucks program, for example. That was something that we took on, and that wasn't necessarily something regulated. It's something that we wanted to do to clean up the air, and that was one initiative of our Clean Air Action Plan. But other ones are, plugging in the vessels. I mean, we're the only ports that we have to plug in our vessels at the Port of Long Beach and LA. It's not done in Oakland, it's not done in other seaports.
So one thing that actually I'm really glad you asked that question, Sonia, because in this area, it seems to me, and Jessica, help me out here, is that when we're talking about stronger regulations, it actually, we in my mind, have grouped new projects.
on Pacific Avenue, a lot of crosswalks, but there are no lights that turn up as folks are crossing. And so, sometimes some folks rush through the crosswalk, and so there's nothing to alert the motorist that somebody's crossing, so that's also really dangerous for both parties involved. So there has to be, when there's a long, a cross distance, for those type of intersections, there's lighted crosswalks. I think that's something that's extremely crucial.
The half measures of putting a crosswalk but no traffic signal is actually in many cases shown to be less safe than having no crosswalks at all, because it gives a false sense of safety that you are okay walking the crosswalk and not looking at the cars. And the cars don't have to, they really should stop, but they don't have that stoplight to signal that you are in the right of way to cross. So having full crosswalks is a better solution than.
So when you finish at the end of the evening, where does this all go?
So all the data we're gathering tonight, we're doing a really cool sticky dot activities. We're asking people to prioritize the things that are important to them. And that's all going to go help inform our community update plan. So all that data is going to go back to the work groups, and then the work groups are going to sift through that data and help us to update the plan.
Okay, will they be able to see the results somewhere online?
That's a great idea. I think that's a wonderful idea to actually post drafts of the plan online so everybody can have access to it. But we really welcome all youth, parents, adults, senior citizens, anybody who lives in the community to participate in our process. We want to hear from you. Your voice is important. These are your neighborhoods, your schools, and your opinion is important to us.
So how can they, if they're not here today, how can they participate?
They can go on our website. It's www.bhclongbeach.org, and on there is a calendar with all of our community meetings, and all of our meetings are translated. We provide translation, childcare, interpretation. We also feed people, which we think is important. So visit our website and you can learn all about when our next meetings are.